Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Randy. Thanks for joining me today on the Black Orchid Project. I hope you're all doing well. Today's video is going to be an update on the sunburn plant I got from my neighbor that I've been trying to rehab here for about 6 weeks. Is it time to give up on it, or should I stick to my motto? All right, before we get started, head on down and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you ring the bell for notifications so you can be notified about new content. There's going to be a lot of new content coming up and updates on things like this. I like to try to update you guys on little projects I have going since I do a lot of rescues. A lot of you guys want to know what's going on with those plants. So make sure you subscribe and ring that notification button. So let's get started with this video. As you guys know, I did this video about 6 weeks ago, and that is a video about a plant, this particular plant here, or the one on this video, that a neighbor left out in the sun for a little bit too long, and it got sunburned. And it was in pretty bad condition, and she called me and said, or contacted me and said, hey, do you want to try to rescue this plant? I figured, why not? What could it hurt? And so I took it on. And in the first video, I talked to you about how I was just going to leave it alone. I just kind of left it in the medium just to see what it would do. And in a matter of like 2 to 3 weeks, it had just completely fallen apart. All the leaves had fallen off, except for these two, I believe, and this one is cut. The core had died off, and as you can see, some of the bigger roots have died off also. So I decided to do an update on it, and on that update, I showed you what was going on, and I said I was going to give it one more try, and what I was going to do was use a black tea method. And now with the black tea method, basically all you're going to do is you're going to take some black tea, and you're going to put it in some water and just let it sit for a few minutes. It's pretty much cold water. I didn't do it warm, just cold water. And then I took it and let's see here, just strained it into another container. Now, this isn't the container I use, but I just wanted to show you what I did here. And I strained that into a container like that. And I soaked this particular plant in here every single day. I would take it out and just soak it in here. Sometimes I would do it for 30 minutes. Sometimes I would do it I would just leave and it would just stay in there for hours. And what happened is it would hydrate. I'm going to show you a picture here. And as you can see, it would get really like dry and it would look like it was in bad condition. I would soak it and then it would get all nice and green again. Then after I soaked the plant, I would take it and put it in here. Now, just let me show you something really, really fast. While it was soaking, I would just take a spray bottle and I would spray in here. I would never just run water in here. I would just spray in here and I would shake it. Just shake it around like that. And what I'm doing by shaking it is obviously moving some of that moisture around, but also getting a lot of air inside of the sphagnum moss here. And that's what that is, that's sphagnum moss. And I would just get some air in there. I'm going to clean this off so you can see a little bit. Yeah, and then I would, because air is the main thing, and then I would take this and literally just set it in here. And I figured with this being, as big as it is, it would create some humidity, but as small as this is, it would keep it in a little bit, but also allow it to breathe. And so before I get too far, I want to show you one more thing, and that is I would also shake this daily. Right before I put it in, I would take this and just shake it. And what I'm doing is just adding some air to it, some oxygen to it. So every day I would shake it, and as you can see, there is all those bubbles. That's oxygen. And so when those roots sit in there, it's not only getting the tea, it's getting a good oxygen feed. So whenever with your water, the water that you use to water your plants, shake it up a lot and get some good oxygen in there. And so, yeah, I would just let it sit in here and let it be. And so, not much was happening. I'm like, am I just doing too much? It wasn't taking long, but still was just another thing added to my day. And lo and behold, I looked at it one day and I saw a little bitty bump on the stem, just a little bitty bump on the stem. And I was like, holy smokes, there is something growing from that. And I mean, this thing it's dead. I mean, it's dead. The only thing gave me hope was that the roots was still alive. And sometimes your plant can be totally dead and your roots will stay alive. So I just didn't even know if I was just spinning my wheels or not. I saw a bump and I was like, man, is that going to be a keiki? Is that going to be a root? I didn't know what it was going to be. And it just started to grow and just started to grow. And it looks like it's going to be a keiki, which means it's going to sprout out a new plant. So this looks like it is going to be a success. Can you believe that? As dead as this was, as bad as it looked, just never giving up on it and giving it some time and some effort, or some energy and some effort and some good vibes. And man, look at that. We have a new plant there. How cool is that? So yeah, I mean, that is what I did with that. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to take that plant, or I'm going to take this plant, and I am going to pot it now. If you want, I will put the repotting at the end of the video behind the credits if you want to stick around, just kind of see what it looks like when I'm done. But I'm going to repot that now and just let that be and let that grow. I'm scared if I keep moving it around, I'm going to pop that off, or just kind of, you know, it's going to break off and I'm going to be really upset. So now I'm just going to try to get it somewhere stable and let it be. So yeah, that's an update on that plant. I hope it was worth it for you to stick around and to follow along with that. And I will do more updates on this particular plant. So while I have you here, I just wanted to show you a couple of other plants that I had on hand that has kind of shown some what I consider miracle plants. So this one was in horrible shape, as you can see again. This one was this dead leaf here that just kind of died off, but the stem was dead. I mean, there was all these dead leaves, everything, but there was a few roots that was still available, still alive. And so I decided to just, as I was soaking the other one, I would soak this one also. And it was kind of a roommate to this plant here. This was a roommate. And look at this one. This one was really the first one I saw. There is a nice keiki on this particular plant too. My finger's in the way. You can't see it. My finger's in the way. And I'm going to put it down here. Yeah, there's a really cool keiki on this particular plant too. It's actually getting a second leaf. So this was the first leaf and it was a second leaf. Again, I just saw a little knot and a bump, and next thing you know, I had this plant growing. And so now this one's going to be replanted too, and this is going to be in its own pot again, so I don't break this off. And so I've been holding off in potting it just so I could show you, but I got that one. And then there's this one. This one, as you can see, has two little leaves on it right now. This one was dead. There was nothing on it but one leaf. Here's a picture of this one. As you can see, the leaf fell off and there was one leaf on here, but all of a sudden I saw one little green sprout down in the middle of the leaf. So this one didn't pop a keiki from the side. This one continued to pop this one put out a leaf from the top, and now it's putting out its second leaf. So there's another one. So that's three. That is literally three different plants. And then, like I said, this one would just stay in here. That's three different plants that pretty much any and everybody would have thrown away. And with a little bit of effort, a little bit of good energy and dedication, I brought these back. Now, you know, for some it might be worth it, for some it's not, but man, just the accomplishment of it makes you feel good. And I'm going to grow these out, and hopefully one day I can make an update video on all of these blooming, sending out a spike and blooming. It probably won't be for a couple of years, but hey, stick around. Let's stay together for a couple of years. And so anyway, last couple of things I want to touch on with you guys. I know you've been around for a minute, and I hope you stick around. But as you can see, that is a really cool picture of this baby here. Look at that. This is my latest bloom, and it is in a, let's see, Equestrius it's Phalaenopsis variation is what it's called. These are tiny, tiny, tiny. As you can see, this is my pinky. It's about the size of my pinky here. And this is just a gorgeous display. Check out this pot. My neighbor is doing some 3D printing. And so I talked to him about printing me some custom pots. And so he printed me this pot. And stick around, guys, because I'm going to get you his information so you guys can reach out to him if you would like for him to design you a pot, or if there's a pot that you want, he can probably print it out and get it out to you. So that's really cool. And then this is just a little rescue I had. And as you can see, I did kind of the technique on here, did the spike bending technique on this, and I bent it around, brought it down, and it's just this one little single plant here. So anyway, just a few updates on different things that I have going on, all these little plants I have and that I'm working on and things like that. So that is going to do it for me today. Make sure again that you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the notification button. I started a Patreon, guys. If you know what Patreon is, it's just a way to support your favorite creators, favorite artists, different things like that. And so if I've done something to help you save your plant, or if you just want to contribute, there's only one tier. It's only $3 right now, and that tier pretty much is just kind of a support tier. There's going to be some more tiers coming up. Every month I'm going to try to give away something. So even at the $3 level, I'm going to auction off or do a raffle for a plant or something like that. This month, July's gift was a copy of that particular plant or any plant in my collection that they wanted. So I'm going to put the gallery down if you want to buy a print. I'm starting to take pictures of every plant that I get that I can get a good picture of. And if you want to buy a print, that would be greatly appreciated if you want some nice orchid art to put on your wall. So that is all my spills for this video. Stick around. I got some good stuff coming up. And as always, be safe. More importantly, be kind. Never give up on them. Never give up on them. And until next time, peace.